Hey, what's going on my 45,000 amazing friends? I hope you're all doing fantastic today. And yeah, we're going to be talking about the Nisi filters right here, ND filters. Yeah, I know, not a very interesting topic, but a very important one nonetheless. Now, I know there are a lot of people who are subscribed to my YouTube channel that are Sony shooters and definitely some new A7 IV shooters, so definitely welcome to my channel. And one of the things is that you might actually be new to cameras altogether and you probably don't know the benefits of having a variable ND filter. Or you've been subscribed to my YouTube channel for a while and you've invested in the Peter McKinnon ND filters or the Freewell ND filters or any other ND filters out there as well, and you know the importance of it. The thing about this one is that they claim to be true color. So this is I think it's the Nisi ND-Vario true color 2 to 5 stops. Hopefully I got that right. But this one, they claim to be true to color because if you have shot with ND filters before and you take it off and then you put the ND filter on, you definitely can notice a color shift, mainly for the fact that there are a whole bunch of different coatings on these ND filters, and that's what gives you that color shift. Whereas this one, there's enough coatings on there, but it returns that color back to what the sensor should be seeing, especially with, you know, what is out there in true life. And that's what we're actually going to be testing today to see what the differences are with true color ND filters or just a regular ND filter right here. So this one is the Freewell ND filter we're going to be comparing it to. Now this one is the newer version, so the price is, I think it's $399, but this gives you the 2 to 5 stops, 6 to 9 stops, the mist filter as well on top of that whole thing, whereas this one is just the solid variable ND filter, 1 to 5 stops, and it's $219, so it's half the price of this full kit. But it really depends on what you're after, especially if this one is true color and you need those true colors. This one could actually be for you. Before we continue though, I just want to stress that I don't care if you buy these filters or not. I'm not here to sell these to you. I'm not sponsored by them, and I'm not told by them to tell me to tell you guys that you have to buy these. I don't care. I'm here to present to you if these filters are any good and if they're worth your money to buy, or you could buy some other filters. It really doesn't worry me. The one thing that I want you to get out of this is that, is this going to suit your workflow? Is this going to benefit you? And I want to help you guys out. We're not here to make the company's money. We're here to make us money or to get us a really solid image when we're actually shooting. Now, when it comes to photographers, you probably won't get ND filters. It's not really a thing for photography, but when it comes to videography, having ND filters is extremely important to get nice smooth motion blur. So if you've heard of that 100-degree shutter rule, you're keeping your shutter speed twice your frame rate to get that nice smooth motion blur. If you end up cranking that shutter, it looks a little too sharp, a little too jagged, and yeah, it definitely looks a little too fake. And that's what variable ND filters do very well. So let's get into some of the testing side by side with the Nisi filter and the Freewell filter. So for these comparisons, there's going to be no voiceover, just text on the screen. So take notice of the text on the screen and you can form your opinion for yourself. So you definitely can see a color shift when it comes to the Freewell filter. It definitely looks a lot warmer than the Nisi filters. Now this actually is relatively true to color. It's almost a one-to-one color readout, just like what you can see on the sensor. If anything, this actually looks better than not having an ND filter, mainly for the fact that you're cranking that shutter speed and it just looks too sharp and looks too fake. Whereas this one gives that exact same amount of color as what you actually get in real life, which is great. The one big thing about colors though is that it is subjective. Plus, a lot of these newer cameras these days have 10-bit codec. Now, if you're not familiar with 10-bit or 8-bit, essentially 8-bit gives you 16 million different colors. Different shades of red, different shades of blue, different shades of green, so on and so forth. Whereas 10-bit actually gives you 1 billion different shades, which is so much better when it comes to flexibility of skin tones and pushing and pulling colors, changing colors completely. So that can actually be very handy when it comes to professional work and post-production workflow. Having 8-bit is not as flexible as 10-bit. And if you do have a filter that gives you the true colors, then that will definitely help with 8-bit. And obviously 10-bit, it'll help even more because you actually have the true colors, true to life of what you've actually shot. Whereas this one gives you that warmer tone. So that's not actually the tone you're meant to be getting unless you have auto white balance. It will correct for that. But if you do manual white balancing, you're gonna get a warmer tone in this filter. So make sure you stick around to the end as well because, spoiler alert, I'm gonna be giving one of these away. Yeah. So in terms of build quality, these are pretty decent build quality. Like they're pretty much the same. The main key difference on this one is that it has a serrated edge along the whole edge, which actually allows you to grip onto it a little bit more because if you have used ND filters before, you know how difficult it is to try and turn these, especially when it's on the front of a gimbal. And when it comes down to this one right here, the Nisi, you can actually screw on a I'm gonna get that, one sec, check this out. This is so cool. This is one of the biggest things that I love about this filter. We chuck this little screw point in right here. Look at this. Hey, yeah, right. That makes it so much easier. And if you've flown your camera on a gimbal before, you know how difficult it is to change your variable ND filter on the front of a gimbal. Whereas this one, man, that makes it so much easier. That is so good. Love it. Even the noise. It certainly is less grindier than the Freewell filter, which is really good. Especially if you actually are changing your ND on the fly when you're recording. You're not going to be getting that recording noise of, you know, grinding at the front. But yeah, that's a solid plus when it comes to that build quality. Now, in terms of the case that it actually comes with this hard case right here and this soft box right here. It is a nice cardboard design, but it's a nice felt sort of case, and it is a little bit softened as well. So you can put the ND filter in the case, slide it directly in, and it comes like that. That's so good. Freewell one is just as good as well, if not, I actually like this one better, mainly for the fact that you do have a whole bunch of compartments that you can separate your ND filters, mainly for the fact that this one comes with your 2 to 5 stops, your 6 to 9 stops, and your mist filter as well. So that's why there's a whole bunch of compartments there, whereas this one is just a solid one. But if you are actually after just that regular 1 to 5 stops, the Nisi filter is probably the way to go. So overall, when it comes to variable ND filters, this is very well priced, and especially for the quality and the true color that it actually produces, it's actually a really good filter. Now, Nisi isn't a company that I haven't used before. I actually use their mist filters, which you're actually seeing right now. You can see the bloom effect on these lights. I actually use the mist filters on my camera. This is the first variable ND filter that I've actually gotten from them, and it's come at a good time because I've got the 874 that doesn't have inbuilt ND filters. So I'm gonna be using this all the time on that one, definitely. So one of the biggest tips I want to tell you guys today is that when you do get any kind of ND filters, get the biggest one available, mainly for the fact that you can fit this on any lens that you have. You don't want to have like an 82mm filter thread and a 67mm filter thread and get the 67mm, so you won't be able to use the 82. So make sure you get a bigger one, and then you can use the step down rings to actually suit that. Great thing about Nisi is they actually have these for sale as well. So I got this one here. This is the 67mm that goes up to an 82mm filter thread. The great thing about this one is that you're not stacking them like my old process. There's two step down rings on this one, 67 to 72, 72 to 77, and it's a 77mm filter thread on this. But if it was an 82, I would have 3 different step down rings on this, whereas I've just got the one. That is so much handier. So yeah, definitely a good tip to follow. So in terms of this competition, I am giving one of these away. So all you need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel, give this video a like, and comment below why you actually want an ND filter, what you would actually use it for. So yeah, if you do want to actually subscribe to my Instagram, go for it. I'm not stopping you. If it's not going to change it anyway. I know a lot of people who watch my channel don't actually have Instagram or don't use Instagram. So that's cool, that's fine. But yeah, just make sure you like this, give it a thumbs up, comment below what you're going to be using one of these for. But also read the description below for some further details of this competition to see if you're actually eligible to be in this competition, because Nisi are going to be sending this from their factory to you guys. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. That'd be absolutely amazing. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you already haven't. Link will be in the description below if you do want to check these out, and definitely enter into that competition if you're eligible for it. And yeah guys, I'll see you in the next one. All right, let's get it.